I am fireproof. I just cast a spell of fireproof. Oh wait, it takes 2 to 3 weeks to kick in.
What's up, guys? Spenny. We have seen evil over the past month, and it has been right up in our faces. We've seen left-wing shooters, 3 of them, carve Democrat, transgender, and Antifa messaging onto bullets and then fire those bullets downrange at little children in a Catholic school in Minneapolis, at Charlie Kirk while he's debating peacefully on campus, and now at ICE agents while they're just doing their job for the federal government, keeping our nation safe. That happened this morning in Dallas. That's evil. But then the response to that from the left is even darker. Many of these attacks all of these attacks have been celebrated by factions of the left. The left has squealed with glee at the murder of their political opponents. Many leftists, thousands of them, have lost their jobs for it or been suspended from their ABC show. Some leftists have been charged with violence for attacking Charlie Kirk memorials. Other leftists have committed further terrorism, like shooting up an ABC News local station or planting bombs on a Fox News vehicle that happened right after Charlie Kirk's assassination. And just a reminder that as soon as Charlie Kirk was shot, the first thing that happened was a Democrat raised his hands and says, "I'm the shooter, I'm the shooter." This man turned out to be a pederast named George Zinn, who pulled authorities toward him so that the shooter was able to get away. Still no connection as to whether George Zinn was working with the shooter. I guess not, but he's criminally charged as well. The point is that we've seen nothing but the banality of evil every single step of the way here, and it has been, well, awful. Sometimes you just have to face the fact that you can't unite with evil, you must destroy it. You can't make peace with evil, you must destroy it. You can't share a country with people that want you dead, and you certainly cannot unite over a lie. And speaking of people that want you dead, this is something that has popped up as of late on Megyn Kelly's show. It's gone viral on my social feed. That in the days, nay, the hours before Charlie Kirk was shot, he was being spiritually tortured by witches. Let's read. Terrified Erica Kirk tried to undo witches' curse on her husband, Charlie, organized by woke website Jezebel in days before assassination. Erica Kirk is said to have asked for help after a liberal website paid witches to curse her husband just 2 days before he was assassinated. The grieving widow genuinely rattled over the story, which claims that there were witches who placed a curse on Charlie. This is according to Megyn Kelly. The Kirks were so concerned about the article that they summoned a Catholic priest to undo the curse the night before he was shot. Utah Valley University. The media personality said that Erica and Charlie Kirk heard of these curses and they genuinely rattled Erica. I can tell you Erica is a very spiritually in tune person. I know her personally. She's a lovely and beautiful soul, but she's deeply connected to her faith and deeply connected to God. Kelly asked, why torture a family like this? A Christian believing family. Why do such a vile thing to this young couple? Jezebel article published on September 8th was titled, "We Paid Some Witches to Curse Charlie Kirk." September 8th, Charlie was shot the day after? 2 days after? So 48 hours after this article was published, Charlie was shot and killed. Kirk was murdered 2 days later. The news website issued a statement clarifying the timing of the post and announced that it was removed. Would you look at that? This story was published on September 8th. The website said in a statement following the death of Charlie Kirk, the outlet continued, Jezebel condemned the shooting of Charlie Kirk, strongest possible terms. We do not endorse, encourage, or excuse any political violence of any kind. But you're actually literally summoning demons in order to cause true harm to Charlie. Can actually have real world consequences, Megyn Kelly says. Here is the removal of the article. This is the coverage. Hiring witches, the curse to curse Charlie Kirk. This is the article in the Wayback Machine. You can still find it. Nothing's ever really deleted from the internet. So you can find here, cursing a stranger, buying the curse. the aftermath. In Witches We Trust. Who is Charlie Kirk? So they straight up did this. Megyn Kelly saying that Charlie Kirk was cursed by witches. Completely and totally evil. Here you go.
There actually are demons in this world. Calling up the spirit world, in particular the devil's spirit world, can actually have real world consequences. It's not something to mess with. Many Christians believe this. This is dangerous. It's not a game. It's literally evil. Second, this is what I really want you all and the people at Jezebel and Etsy to know. Erica and Charlie Kirk heard about these curses, and that news genuinely rattled Erica in particular. She knew Christian teaching on this subject. She loved Charlie, absolutely. And she was scared when she heard of the curses Jezebel had called up. So much so that she and Charlie contacted a friend who I believe she said was a Catholic priest, but definitely a friend, and asked him to come over and pray with them over Charlie the night before he was murdered. She eventually worked it through, and so did Charlie. That, as she later told me, weapons will form but not prosper. That Satan and those witches have no power. Of course, God's will is the one that matters, and his blessing over Charlie was real and palpable. All you had to do was spend time with Charlie to know that. But why torture a family like this? A Christian, believing family.
Megyn Kelly isn't buying it at all. She went scorched earth on Jezebel for doing this. Why would you F around with stuff like this? For so long in all of this, we've just said, it's a spiritual war that we're fighting. It's darkness versus light. You're seeing now darkness lose, and they're going to lash out. There's Megyn Kelly explaining.
Now, I've been wrestling because I find it so vile and off and odd. I wasn't even sure where to go with it. But I decided that I had to do it because the groups who did this deserve public censure. I learned when I was out in Arizona last week that 2 weeks before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, the far-left website Jezebel declared that it had a mission to cast bad luck or a curse on Charlie. They wanted to hurt him in some way. They declared, quote, if the far-right misogynist with a bad haircut wants to villainize independent women, Jezebel is more than happy to be the hag of his nightmares. And they went on to the website Etsy, yes, Etsy, to, quote, cast a curse on him. Yes, this is actually a thing. Etsy, the website known for making arts and crafts on demand, will happily cast a hex through its witches, who you can hire, on someone if you ask them to. The Jezebel crew was delighted to discover, quote, it's not uncommon for the so-called witches on Etsy to channel their energy toward thwarting Republicans. There's even a subreddit devoted to casting nightly hexes on Trump. Jezebel decided Charlie Kirk, who they've repeatedly described as far right, the founder of the right-wing conspiracy theory factory, Turning Point USA, is, quote, more irritating than most, and asked its audience if they were, quote, interested in punishing Kirk for years of regressive rhetoric with a curse, with a hex on him. After all, they told readers, he's basically a fake news vending machine. The article notably does not list the name of any particular author, but simply uses its company name as the byline. So we don't know exactly which writer or staffer at Jezebel, which has long been a disgusting publication, came up with the idea. But since they're attributing it to all of them, so will we in terms of our blame. It was, in fact, the brainchild of one writer, however, because it is written in the first person, a female. The writer explains now, is it ethical to curse a man I've never met? Probably not. But is it unethical to let him keep talking? Yes. Now comes the obligatory ass-covering paragraph in the piece. just to stave off any negative publicity for Jezebel. Quote, I want to make it clear I'm not calling on dark forces to cause him harm. I just want him to wake up every morning with an inexplicable zit. I want his podcast microphone to malfunction every time he hits record. I want his blue blazers to suddenly all be one size too small. I want one of his socks to always be sliding down his foot. I want his thumb to grow too big to tweet. To ruin his day with the collective feminist power of the Etsy coven would be my life's greatest joy. So even in her ass covering, she was asking for Charlie to be rendered less attractive, to not be able to use his microphone and silence his voice, to have discomfort foisted upon him, to stop his ability to tweet or spread his message, and to, quote, ruin his day. Got it? That's the nice part of the Jezebel article.
Megyn Kelly going in here at the very end, explaining that Jezebel is now playing the victim. They've taken the article down for legal reasons, and that they are saying they're doing it for their own safety. So they pay witches to curse Charlie Kirk. They cause excruciating pain to his family. In whatever level this had an effect on Charlie Kirk's assassination, it certainly didn't help. In a good way, in a bad way, perhaps it did. I don't know. I believe in this stuff. I believe in the spiritual realm. And now Megyn Kelly saying they're playing the victim. Remarkable.
After the shooting, Jezebel took down the article, quote, on the recommendation of our lawyers. They underscored that the piece was meant to be humorous, intended as satire, and that they made clear they wished Charlie, quote, no physical harm, which is not the full story now, is it? At the same time, they said of the article, quote, we stand by every word, which means they did want him cursed. They wanted everyone to hate him. They wanted it to be powerful, and they wanted Charlie, quote, punished for years of regressive rhetoric. They also made clear that taking down the article was, quote, driven by an abundance of caution for our staff. In other words, they were worried about violence against them by Charlie Kirk supporters. They also, they wrote, wished, quote, to avoid the piece being misused in a tense and volatile environment. There was not, they made clear, any change in their editorial and judgment. In fact, they emphasized, quote, we may republish at a later date. They then rambled on about the country's gun problem and the heated political divide in the country and free speech, noting they do not actually condone political violence. Now, again, you may be saying to yourself, why are we talking about Etsy curses? None of this is real. Well, two things. First of all, Christians are opposed to casting spells or trying to contact the spirit world. Not only because they believe there's only one God, but because they acknowledge the existence of the devil and evil spirits.
There is evil in the world. You have to just accept that. And the faster you accept it, the better life you're going to live. Satan is here to steal, kill, and destroy. God is the author of life and death. Obviously, God is in charge. But we live in a sunken world. And you cannot mess around with these kind of things. You have to lock in, put on the full armor of God, ladies and gentlemen. And, I don't know, sue Jezebel? I'm not sure. I don't know. It's just evil, and evil's real. And it's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. Don't F around with this kind of like spiritual, don't F around with like the demon stuff. Stuff's real.